Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we get started on this beautiful Tuesday, what is it, February 24th, make sure you view what's on the screen. Trading is very risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do here or anywhere else is a suggestion or recommendation of any kind. I'm just an idiot on YouTube yapping for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research, make your own decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures, Code RDF, Bookmap, Edgeful, and others. Can't be unbiased if I stand to make money. Important for me to be transparent about that, for you to be aware and do your own research, make your own decisions. Chat, how we doing today, guys? What's going on? Let's hop onto these charts, man. Let's see what YM's got for us today. Nice to be back in action with you guys here. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good morning, Maritime Trader. What's happening? Chris AS11. Hello, Zach. Hello, chat. Paul, what's up? Hansel, what's up? What's happening, guys? What's happening? Mahini NQ. Dwayne, what's up, everybody, man? How we doing? Cyrus, Miss K, Glenn B, Nev, Adil King, what's up, my man? Saw my man taking some payouts, crushing it. Love to see it. Anybody else that I missed? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to the show. Thanks for hanging out. We're gonna hop into it, man. I'm gonna see what we could do here. I don't know who was behind my pinned message. Let me see who was. Jess on Kick, what's up? See, I knew someone was up there. What's up, guys? Appreciate you hopping on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here with me. Let's have an awesome day, man. Let's follow our plan. Plan our trades, trade our plan. Let's apply our discretion. Let's keep things simple. Let's control risk while focusing on the mindset and psychology needed to try to make some damn money in these markets, right? We don't know if we're going to be green or red. We don't know if we're going to win or lose. We can't possibly know. We don't have a crystal ball. It's broken. But we're going to do our best, man. We're going to try to improve every damn day, little by little, 0.01% better every day. That's the game plan. Forget about 1%, man. 0.01%. That's what I'm happy with. So now that we got past that, let's hop into it, man. I am here, logged into my Top 1 Futures live account. You probably saw from the Discord, you probably saw from me yapping on IG, but taking some small base hit payouts out of this bad boy. Took another one yesterday after taking one last week. Rise is working for me. I know I was complaining about that a little bit. Shout out to Rise. They got me re-verified. I had a license expire, essentially what that was. Couldn't update it like super easily on their site, and I had to get reached out by the prop firm after requesting a payout. They were like, hey, we can't pay you. Rise is jacked up. But got that figured out pretty quick. Rolling smooth. So we're back in action here. This is Tradeovate logged into TradingView. Again, this is a Top 1 Futures 15K pre-live account, so we can be super duper specific about what the hell you're gonna watch here. Gonna see what we can do on YM off of the open. Depending on what we can or can't do here on YM, what setup comes or doesn't come, I'll probably hop over and get back to scalping on NQ, either in some evals or some sim-funded accounts across different firms. I'll let you guys know what we got cooking if we make that swap over there. We'll see if we want to log in straight from Tradeovate, or if we do want to hang out here on TradingView and try to get some of that rolling here. But first, let's talk markets before we even hop onto this chart. Let's take a look here. We got forexfactory.com loaded up. I'm not partnered or affiliated with these guys. It's just my preferred news site. I've just been looking at this chart for forever, and it easily, sticks out at me when we have something. We could also check Financial Juice just to do a quick once-over and see what we got rolling. But it doesn't look like much of anything until we got Trump tonight talking at 9. We have no red folder news events. Consumer confidence at 10 a.m. That could definitely be an issue. I'm not too worried about that one. Yeah, actually, Forex Factory has it marked as, Financial Juice has that marked as red folder, so that could be a problem. That could be a problem. This could be some volatility coming up half hour into NYSE Open. So we'll watch for the 10 a.m. time frame. That's the notes on news for today. Let's take a look at YM on the daily, man. Let's get a feel for what's going on here on the daily chart. We have all-time high marked out up here. We got a couple discretionary levels. I like these. These are pretty high time frame zones. Same stuff from last week. Yeah, I'm going to leave this as is, man. I'm curious to see if we sweep this low. I might try the long. I think that's a pretty clean play for me. I could definitely hop into the longs on this one if we come down and crack the low right into the open. That's going to be the first setup. If we push to the upside, I could certainly see a short off of this level up here, right? Tops and bottoms, area of interest coming off of volume profile. Even zoomed out on the daily, we can get these levels off the volume profile. So this is going to be pretty clean cut for me, guys. I'm going to run this either short or long, simple mean reversion trade. You know, normal risk that I'm working with here on YM. Whoa, trading view. Don't lag out on me, bro. What was that? What was that, trading view? Don't scare me now. Simple mean reversion style play. Really the same boring stuff that I do day in and day out here, man. I know you guys were watching yesterday off the open. Here it is. If you faded the pop to the upside, right back to VWAP, there's your trade, right? Right near prior day high, right? Friday's high. So let's see, man. Here's basically what I'm gonna be looking at. You know, it's not cut and dry. It's not objective. It's not something that can be coded into a bot or an EA, right? There's a lot of discretion with what I do here, guys. A lot of subjective interpretation of the tools that I use, right? That's part of manual trading. I like to be very, very vocal about that. It is part of the edge, deciding exactly when or where to do what, right? Ooh, yeah, I like this off the 750s. I do like this off the 750s. Getting ready to open up here, guys. Just marking out what I'm looking at with you guys, roughly. Let's just see where this is. So we've got quite a bit of liquidity down there at 750. Here we go, guys, coming into NYSE Open. Got quite a bit of liquidity down here on Bookmap. If we dip to the downside, I'm probably going to look to buy that dip, guys. I'm going to go with that standard 1 mini, 200 point stop loss. Looking for a pop back up towards VWAP. I'm not going to take it right off the 750s, right? Otherwise, I would just be running a limit order if I wanted to do that. I don't. But I'm definitely not going to run a fixed take profit, but I will have something arbitrary way out here like we talked about. So I do enter with an OCO bracket order, and I have a take profit that I can adjust if I do want to walk away from the charts. I know I'm not reading the chat too much. I know I'm not answering too many questions just yet, guys, but we're opening up here, and this is one of those days where I got a setup forming, right? I got something here. We're opening up low in yesterday's range. We're pretty, you know, we tested yesterday's volume point of control. Pretty balanced overnight, choppy overnight session, right? Looking at Asia, London, back and forth, chopping through VWAP. I do like this for a quick sweep of prior day low, back up towards VWAP. It wouldn't be a, you know, wouldn't be an amazing risk structure. It wouldn't be a huge trade, right? VWAP might give me 200 points, right? Maybe. But this is a clean one. I'm not going to take it right here. I'm going to at least need the 750s to get taken out. And I'd probably want to wait for, you know, around the middle of this zone, to be completely honest. So, you know, if we dip here and pop right back up, no missed trade, through the 750s, I'm going to be looking at this one. Looks like we got a little bit of a nosedive on a positive CVD out of ES. Oh, this could look tasty, guys. This could look good. Tasty. That's the really technical, professional term that I use for identifying a clear trade setup. Tasty. That's actually, it's in the books, guys. If you go back and you read all of the best trading books, the professionals, the market wizards, they describe good setups as tasty. No, I'm just kidding. Bouncing. I don't like that. I don't like that, chat. Let's see what she's got for me today. This was looking really good. Declining on a positive CVD. This was looking really tasty, man. Didn't give it to me. Back to VWAP. YM, man. Come on. What are you doing to me, bro? just beautiful mean reversion plays on YM these days, but not enough. YM. Why you gotta do this to me, bro? Come on, why couldn't you make it easy for me, man? I'm cool. I'm your friend. We could work with me here, bro. No, guys, I'm joking around, guys. I hope you guys know that, you know, I'm joking around here when I express that stuff. It's boring for me to sit here and you know, display my real emotion with it, which is pretty minimal. This is the move playing out. This is the mean reversion play that I wanted. We're gonna be off of YM here in the first couple minutes off the open. That's it. You know, if you guys are new here, this is really the same trade setup that I look for day in and day out off of the open. It is what I would describe generally as a reversal style trade, a mean reversion style trade, where off of the open, depending on market conditions, right? Because sometimes we're selling off and I'm not going to look for it. Sometimes we're ripping to the upside. I'm not going to look for it. Sometimes there's no level to trade off of. But in general, I'm going to look to fade a pop to the upside or buy into a dip to the downside, given I have a clear level to trade off of, like today. We didn't get close really to that level relative to this structure. We really didn't even get close to hitting it. We did dip, and then what did we do? We popped right back up, you know, 200 points off the lows to give me that potential $1,000 on that one YM mini that I look for, but just not enough. Just not enough to the downside. Not quite enough of a dip. You know, sweeping this overnight Asia London low, right? But not quite down to yesterday's low. Close, real close, but not at least into that 750, tapping into this, you know, area of interest here. So this is going to be cooked, you know, just part of the game. I think the important part of trading is knowing what your setup looks like and knowing what it doesn't look like. Putting the trade on when it comes and, you know, not taking a trade when there's not a trade. Like I trade YM, you know, fairly consistently, pretty much the same way every damn day. I get plenty of comments. He never takes a jam trade. He sits there and watches the chart. You know, we hop over to NQ, we'll scalp away. But for what I do, you know, for the most part, intraday, low frequency trading, closer to swing trading, I don't get setups all the time, right? Sometimes I get really close like this and, you know, I'll joke around and go, YM, what are you doing, bro? Come on, give me the setup, right? I'll joke around like that. But, you know, if there's no trade, there's no trade. Anything you're doing in between an actual valid setup, you know, on whatever you're trading is just gambling, right? It's just random clicking the button. You could just click the buy or sell button now with whatever stop loss and take profit you wanted to if you're going to do that. So anyway, for those that are new, this has been really a beautiful setup. It's been playing out so nicely on YM. What I've noticed is I've gotten really close. I've had a lot of stuff that has kind of done this where it's still giving me the general movement, but it's just not giving me the really good risk structure to trade off of. It's not giving me really what I like to see out of it to get in. So talked about getting more aggressive for sure. You know, like I saw, I was getting ready to take it right into the 750s, you know, which would just be the top end of the zone, like right below yesterday's low. Like that would be pretty aggressive for me to be jumping in right into the open, right? You know, this is like the first couple minutes into the open. I'm ready to take it. I can't get more aggressive than that, right? I'm not just gonna say, market's over and okay, long. You know, unfortunately, that's just not the play. So we'll see what happens here. If we come back down, it's not it. It's really not it. That's not the movement, right? The movement that I'm looking for is not, well, we sweep overnight low, come out to take out the highs, and then come down to sweep prior day low, right? That's not the movement. You know, this is the leg that I want right here, right? This is the open. This is the dip. This is buying into it. I don't want this, right? So, you know, again, kind of gonna say that we probably don't have a trade set up on YM. Early, 7 minutes into NYSE Open, so I'm not gonna come off of it just yet. But we will look at NQ. We'll look at we can get some motion scalping near the open. Really been getting cooked on NQ near the open, man. I gotta say, I'm gonna have to give it a rest eventually. I'm not done with it just yet, but I've had much better results into the afternoon, like NY lunch, and then, you know, into early afternoon, like before power hour. It can get pretty dicey into those, you know, that last hour of the day. But I didn't expect to have better results there. In fact, I would think that's probably one of the worst times of the day to trade. You know, everything just slows down and liquidity kind of starts to dry up. But I don't know. That's what the results are showing me, so I'm conveying that to you guys. But I'm going to attempt to trade it with you here. Probably not 7 minutes into the open on NQ. I think that could be a little bit violent for me. But, you know, into that first hour of the session and onward. But what is up, chat? Appreciate you guys hopping on. Thanks for being here, man. We got a bunch of people hopping on. Actually, we don't have that many people hopping on. Y'all are sleeping today. We got everybody sleeping on a Tuesday here. You're mad that I wasn't live yesterday. I guess that's it. I got to be live every day or I can't catch everybody. Push it to the upside. Yeah, dude, this looked so good. This looked so good. YM. Oh, YM. I'll tell you what looked really good. Not that I use CVD in isolation. Not that I use ES in isolation and ES's bookmap as I'm trading on YM. But I'll tell you what was a real clear-cut, you know, sometimes there's something that's really happening in the market, whatever tools you're using, that like smacks you in the face and you're like, wow. Hence, that looked really tasty, right? And here it is. Off the open, ES dumping into liquidity on a positive CVD, a positive cumulative volume delta, right? This is the difference between buy and sell volume by way of buy and sell volume, right? Anchored to a specific point, cumulative volume delta. That increasing, right? A divergence going on here. That increasing on a declining price into levels of liquidity right off of the open. Oftentimes, what do we get? We get that. We get that big pop right back up, right? We get this right here, right? Not always. Sometimes we're going to have a positive CVD, right? And price just going to keep selling off. Just the way that any, you know, indicator or tool or volume or, you know, price action or structure that you use is not going to work all the time. But that's something that I would love to see if I'm going to buy into a dip. You know, liquidity below, getting eaten up, cumulative volume delta increasing, showing buyers are stepping in heavily. They're starting to outweigh sellers by way of sell volume. You know, definitely something I like to see. So that did work out really nicely today. Just not enough. Just not enough of a dip on YM. YM loves to pull these really over-exaggerated movements. It's been doing it a bit, but not enough, man. It's just really loving to not sweep levels. Like we didn't clear Friday's high yesterday on this pump. And, you know, again, kind of similar, right? Like we got right there and then look at the move, right? Like just an absolute dump. But at very least, you know, back to VWAP. Like forget about all this. We got this back to VWAP move. But, you know, what I'm noticing is it's kind of teasing levels here, you know? I don't know that I'd be in. I'd probably be in a really similar situation where I'd be like, hey, this looks good right here. That looks good for the really aggressive entry right here. Maybe stops outside of this. So I've talked about that a little bit last week. You know, kind of a similar move here where we got, what was the exact movement? We got, yeah, 26 points off the low. I mean, that's not right there. 26 points off the low. You know, a little bit more to the area that I was at, looking to enter, 50 points. Sucks, though. I hate to see that. That's just painful, right? Painful. But not that painful. You know, market's going to do whatever it wants to do. It's always going to move, right? Our job is to identify what a good setup is for us. Apply discretion, which I use quite a bit of it. But there's, you know, within reason. If I just allow myself to hop in all over the place like a crazy person, on YM specifically, I know I'm going to get cooked, right? NQ, I'm going to take a lot higher frequency of trades, right? We're getting comfortable. We're testing trading on TradingView. I'm really testing fills as well. I can make some excuses for being an absolute psychopath and entering a bunch of times all over the place on NQ. But sometimes it doesn't work too well, right? Kind of like Friday where I got smoked. Although Friday wasn't a bunch of scalping. Friday was one larger trade. So, anyway, I'll come back to the chat in a minute, guys. But I'm just watching this market move. Really the good read on it, man. Just not enough for me to get the entry. Super close. You know, not that frustrating, but, you know, you have enough of these days back to back. There is that little bit of frustration where you're like, damn it, bro. Trade 40 points lower. Give me my bottom tick entry and then pull this 400-point move to the upside. I'm not going to hop in on this. I don't know that we don't take off today. I'm not going to short this. If I had to take a trade, right, we're coming into this, looking at the daily. You know, if I had to take a trade, a short play in here, you know, could be in store. Something like this right here. Oh, that's ridiculous. Hang on one second. Here's kind of my standard play. I don't like this that much, though. I think we might get it. I think we might chop. We've just had so much crazy chop in the U.S. indices. It's just not valid, man. YM. YM, bro. Yeah, I don't like this that much. I mean, it would have to be up here, and at that point, we're putting a bullish candle in. You know, what are we shorting into? You know, we're shorting for a complete reversal at that point, not off the open. Yeah, this is probably gonna be cooked. This is probably gonna be cooked. Gonna be over to NQ, scalping like a maniac. But let's watch this one. You know, gun to my head if I had to take a trade, it's short. But I'm not taking it. I don't have a gun to my head. I don't think it's a really beautiful setup. I think we could just drive higher today. But this one is close but no cigar. Sweep of pre-market lows. So close to prior day low without taking it. I'm going to have to make a decision on whether or not I'm going to start, you know, marking my entry level 30 points into prior day highs and lows. Like, that's going to be the entry marker. You know, the potential spot for me to start to get in, especially not with liquidity down here. Just kind of reviewing some of this, especially not with the 750s. This was beautiful for a potential grab right in here. There's usually not much on the book for YM. That one's a beautiful spot to look to enter aggressively. Ahead of that, you know, I'm front running everything and I'm just too aggressive. So, you know, if I'm in here on another day, right? Like, not even waiting for a sweep of prior day low, like 1 minute into the open, and price does this, right? I have to ask myself why I didn't wait for what I knew I should have waited for, right? So, you know, you have to go with, like, are you ready to journal the losing trade? Here, I'm ready, right? Here, I'm not. I'd have to be saying, hey, I did something really wrong. I look like a genius today. But, you know, I look like an idiot on another day where we come into a really aggressive area. We kind of do that overshoot move that YM loves to do. And I got to journal a trade where I was just way too aggressive because I wanted to jump into something. So, let's see what we get out of YM. Let's see what we get. Chat, how we doing? Hello, what's up? Caught that bottom ticky. That's the key, man. Can't have the regret when I miss it because the opposite side sucks. For sure. For sure. Right? You know, you have to ask yourself, do I have just good comments? Always great comments out of you guys. Pam, fantastic as always. You have to ask yourself, you know, what are my conditions for entry? What the hell am I looking for? Because the market's going to move all over the place all day, and you can, you know, make something up and say, oh well, here's why I got in after the fact, right? But you know, beforehand, what's the plan? What the hell are you doing, right? And then, did that happen? Clear cut, yes or no? Okay, and then did you execute well once it happened? If it didn't happen and you hit the buy or sell button, whether or not it's a winning or a losing trade, it's a bad trade. You did something wrong, right? Now again, there's a lot of discretion that comes in. There's a ton of intuition and discretion and, you know, subjective interpretation, the way that I repeat that. because it's really important to note that. But within that, there's some guardrails. There's some basic, alignment, right? Of like what you should be watching day in and day out so you can provide some consistency within your trading. Markets are very random on the short term. If you're very random on the short term as well, how the hell do you expect consistent results? So, yes, this is a key piece to trading. Grabbed a quick on right 932, but a scalp instead of holding for the full move back up. Gotcha. Good morning. Purple Ninja Facts. Good morning. Delicious setups. Yeah, I was saying tasty. Good morning, Alan. What's happening? Juan, what's happening? Miguel Carrera, what's happening? Omega, what's happening? ADO King, what's up? Yeah, we talked about that. Is getting the Elite Challenge, is it worth getting the Elite Challenge Top 1 Futures? Nenavi 0913. Good question. I would say if you're interested in challenge accounts, without giving out too much information, if you're interested in challenge accounts, if you're interested in really aggressive evaluation style accounts, I would probably just wait for next week. I think we're going to see something big from Top 1. And I'm not talking about a discount. I'm not talking about a small rule adjustment. I'm talking about something big. Something that may or may not be one of the best opportunities as far as an evaluation account goes industry-wide. We haven't seen something really, really massive like that out of them in a while. They've been cooking on something. If you were on the stream last week, Clay gave out probably more information than he was supposed to. But I would keep your eyes on something. I would keep your eyes out for something from Top 1. And I'll give you the basics. I'm only going to say this one time. Ready? Everybody listen up. Maybe we see something that traders look for, like an evaluation model that's pretty fast to pass, that's very cheap with no activation fee. And maybe once you're into that funded account, you have no consistency rule. You have an opportunity for daily payouts. You have literally the opportunity to get paid day one of getting into the funded account and then every day thereafter if you meet the requirements, right? Maybe this account may or may not have end of day drawdown on challenge and the funded account. I don't know. I think that's some of the stuff that traders want from accounts. I don't know. Maybe it's going to have reasonable payout caps relative to the rules, but maybe you're going to be able to scale with copy trading. I think we're just going to have to wait and see, guys. What do I know? What do I know? But yeah, without getting myself in trouble, I'd keep your eyes out for something big coming from Top 1 Futures. Heard whispers about next week. I'll keep you updated. If you're not in the Discord, I'm going to throw the link in chat to hop in the free Discord. If you want the inside information, if you want to know about this stuff as soon as it drops, man, here's the link in Discord. I try to follow the rules. I try not to give information early, but I'm hyped on this one, guys. I'm really hyped on this one. We've seen this from other prop firms, right? We've seen this style of account. The instant funded account I think is awesome. You do have to deal with some different challenges. I still love the instant funded account. I love not having to take a challenge and trade for money that I'm never going to withdraw. But there's some different nuances with the instant funded accounts, right? There's typically a pretty tight consistency rule, and they're pretty much, higher price, right? It's a higher all-in price to get started. So a lot of traders like to keep risk low. These accounts are really good from super beginner, like just starting out and putting some small risk on the line, to super advanced. I think it's a wide spread. And they like no consistency rules. They like daily payouts. They like no minimum trading days to pay out, no minimum profitable days. They hate intraday trailing, rules. These are all things that, I'm speaking about myself as well as many others. So we'll see. We'll see. I really think that the prop space is just extremely competitive. But we're going to see, man. I think we're going to have something awesome out of Top 1. I'm super excited about it. So to answer that question, if you have if you are looking for a challenge account, I would wait. I would wait until next week. I think you're going to have an opportunity to get something that's absolutely insane if you're interested in a challenge account. As we're watching YM pop to the upside here, we really like it. if there's no time limit on challenge phase, but I guess we'll see. Yeah. So Cyrus, you know, in accounts that have no activation fee, right? In accounts that have no activation fee, typically, you know, you don't have, well, I shouldn't say that. 30 days, monthly subscription. Yeah, most, I don't know how we're going to end up there. Do you have a coupon on Top 1 Futures to buy? No. Nobody has that. We have a coupon here. We have a discount code. Code RDF. I'm going to throw it in chat. 60% off your first or next account with Top 1 Futures. Once you use that, I think it drops off to 50 or 40%. But you could use code RDF for your first or next account with Top 1. 60% off for all accounts. Once you hit it one time, I think it drops off to 50 or 40% based on the account. If you're looking to get funded with an instant funded account, the OG instant funders are still my favorite from Top 1 right now. But again, we got something hella big cooking from them. Again, it's, you know, we're talking about an eval model, so definitely different. But I think it's, I won't say anymore. I'm going to get myself in trouble. Someone's going to text me and say, hey, what the hell, bro? A little bit of a reversion here. I'm still watching YM. I just want to see what we do. I'm really curious to see what we do here, so I'm going to have to see. Morning, Broski fam. Just for the first purchase. Yes. Yeah. We talked about that. Is Top 1 getting Trade C? Might be a game changer for us TSX fans. Yes. I believe that Top 1 will have Trade C the way that everybody else is adding Trade C pretty quickly. Trade C is similar to TradingView, where it's just a charting platform that you can execute trades on, and you have to log in through a rhythmic connection. As far as I'm aware, I don't want to speak incorrectly on this because I'm not working. What the hell? Sorry, guys. I'm not working on Trade C. I haven't tested it yet, but as far as I'm aware, it is a kind of a similar situation to TradingView, where it's just a charting platform. You log in, but I believe it comes from a rhythmic connection or some other connection than Trade-Evate NinjaTrader. So I believe it's going to be Top 1 adding rhythmic, and whatever other data feed you would need to be able to log in and then trade from Trade C for free. But yeah, have looked at Trade C. It looks pretty cool. Haven't tested it yet. Haven't played with it yet. It's definitely something I'm keeping my eye on. But honestly, I've been on Trade-Evate a little bit more, which I'll probably hop over to with you guys and just trade straight from Trade-Evate if we go to Scalp and NQ. I'll think about it. But yeah, I believe it requires a rhythmic connection, which would be adding another broker connection to the prop. But correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you guys know. Can you log in to Trade C with a TradingView? With a Trade-Evate NinjaTrader account? I don't think so. I think it comes from, Rhythmic, and then you'd be able to connect. Never mind, I'm going to sell some crypto. Will not give them high euros. Cool. Yeah, of course. When's the eval releasing, Zach? I think we're going to have to wait and see, brother. I would keep your eyes on next week. I think it's coming very soon. Maybe we see something early next week. I don't really know, guys. I should say I can't really say. Beautiful reversal off of this low area here. What a sell-off. Said I wasn't gonna take it. I said if I had to take something, that would be it up here, but not really something that's beautiful. I'm getting ready for NQ, guys. YM's just all over the map. Do you have an idea when it releases? Yeah. To be honest, brother, I work with Top 1 Futures pretty closely, right? I don't own anything. I don't work for them. I'm a partner and affiliate. But obviously, you see Clay coming on the show. He's one of the founders, right? You see me hanging with those guys quite a bit. I do like to work with whatever company that I'm working with as closely as I can. So I do have a lot of inside information that I'm not able to share. So I don't like to be dishonest and say I don't have any idea when it releases, but I'm not able to say what the tentative game plan is, at least what they've conveyed to me yet, right? First off, it's not confirmed until it's confirmed. But I would have your eyes out for early next week. That's what I'd be looking at. Today was a good one. Nice green trade and locked out. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, man, I'm super psyched. I'm super psyched. And again, I know you guys, like, if you probably watch here, maybe it's your first time, whatever, you know, there's been a lot of stuff that I get really hyped up on because I'm genuinely hyped up on it myself. Like, I'm hyped up to trade it. I'm hyped up to use it. I'm hyped up to bring it to the community. Top one has been awesome. I've just been kind of cruising in the live account with them for months now. So you haven't really seen me be yapping about too much, making too many crazy videos or whatever it is. I think you're gonna see a lot from me coming up because I think this is really sweet. I love good opportunities when they come, right? You know, this space changes quickly, opportunities move quickly. I love big opportunities when they come. Anyway, guys, real quick, we got 10 a.m. news coming up. We do have 10 a.m. news, consumer confidence, which in manufacturing index. This is marked as red folder on Financial Juice, so we will see what this looks like. I'm gonna watch it on YM. Here we go, all the way back to VWAP. I'm gonna watch it on YM, and then I am going to load up a prop account with you guys, some other sim funded account or you know something, and we'll get to trading in that. We'll get to trading in that. Probably, let me get that loaded up right now. Let me get ready for it. But if you guys missed what, you know, hop in Discord if you want to stay up on everything. Let me just throw it in here. If you guys missed what I've been working on, I talk a lot about trading this Top 1 Futures live account, which is awesome. For those of you that don't know, I'm still in the same Top 1 Futures 15K pre-live that I've been in since October of last year when I first got kicked over. My goal with this account, just to talk trading and results, my goal with this account was to first just stay in it, right? It was my first prop firm live account. My goal was to just hold on to it, right? Like not blow it right away and not take any payouts from it. My goal is to take one payout, like achieve one small payout, right? And then achieve more consistent payouts. But really, the goal was not to flip something crazy or do something insane. It was to exercise that ability to take daily payouts with no consistency, you know, utilize it as a live account, right? You know, given the size of it that I've gotten into. And I've been able to do that, which has been pretty cool, right? And then coming into this year, I set some goals. I set some goals with personal live accounts that I am still working on. And I said I might consider backing off sim trading prop accounts as a whole. I kind of changed up on that, and I discussed why, right? Number one, I want to leverage the opportunity to scale in sim. I just think it's too hard to turn away from in general. Number two, I want to really try to develop an aggressive approach scalping NQ. I come back to it. I get cooked a lot. I really attempt to continue to develop that. And so I'm going to do that live with you guys here. And the best way to do that without losing a lot of money and seeing if you can make some damn money is in sim accounts, right? Is in, you know, cheap evals and funded accounts. And number three, and also really important, it's what the people want. You know, most of you guys are trading prop accounts. I would argue most people that interact with me, that see me online, they're interested in trading futures prop accounts, right? They're very low barrier to entry. They're very limited downside risk, great upside opportunity, you know, great place to learn, to cut your teeth, maybe to you know, scale if you're advanced. And, you know, me trading a large size live account or one live account with a prop firm, you know, very slowly and taking frequent but very small payouts from it, you know, maybe, you know, it's not something you could buy, right? You can't hop into a prop firm live account, so it's not as relatable, right? You know, the strategies, the approaches, they don't carry over as much. So I do want to be able to display, you know, what you guys want to see, right? You know, that's important. So for all those reasons, trading sim accounts aggressively across multiple other firms, right? So I was sharing that yesterday. I started that about a month ago, right? Maybe end of January, beginning of February, whenever I started talking about it. I took 3 payouts from 3 different prop firm accounts yesterday. I took a 4th payout from a 4th different prop firm last week. I've been trading with Lucid, Take Profit Trader, and Top Step, obviously the good old boys, along with Top 1 Futures, primarily with you guys here. I talked a little bit about that in Discord. I made a reel. I won't repeat the entire, you know, 10-minute reel that I made. You can hop in Discord, you can hop on my Instagram, and see some of what I had cooking there. But you know, decent experiences across all of them. They're all different. They all have really nice advantages and then drawbacks. There's always going to be something that's a trade-off. But if you want to hear more about that, check out the Reel on IG. Check out Discord. I'll try to keep you guys updated. But along with that, I'll finish with this. As I'm logging into probably going to pull up a Lucid eval here. Let's see. I took a payout from Lucid yesterday from my first account that I got funded with them before I killed any funded accounts. Killed some evals with them. I've got, let's see, I got 2 funded with them now. I got a fresh one, and I got a one that I took the max payout in, which has now a balance of $1,500, $1,543. So you know what? Let's go ahead and see what I got for evals here, so we can scalp like maniacs. I got 2 evals active that are halfway to pass, around halfway to pass. So let's load up one of those bad boys and come over to NQ and start scalping. Back to VWAP on YM. Very choppy. Beautiful mean reversion movements out of this. I'm going to have to save this first, right? Beautiful mean reversion movements out of this. Very, very nice stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and say I don't have trades coming on YM. And we'll get some scalping in. We'll get warmed up. Maybe we scalp across a couple different accounts. But first, we're going to run some 50K evals, put some work in on those. But here's where I wanted to go as I'm logging into this account. Here's what I wanted to convey to you guys, right? Even though I share that, even though I talk about it, even though I tell you, I share, you know, payouts and screenshots and, you know, different things that are all good. Grain of salt that. Based on what we've seen from yesterday, if you were not aware, you weren't on socials, based on what we've seen, what I've seen throughout my trading career, grain of salt that, right? There's only one thing that matters, guys. There's only one thing that you don't have to trust somebody at their word. Because even if the person's being genuine, even if the person is, you know, not completely full of crap, right? They're being honest. What they're showing you is legit. You still don't know what happened. You still don't know how they got there. You still don't know what the trading was like to achieve that, what the risk was, right? And it's not worth anything. It's not of any value to you or anybody else, right? Outside of the trader themselves. So, you know, what to look for is live trading. Live trading. You know, what I'm doing here with you guys solely from traders. And really, you're only able to judge them on that. On, you know, live trading, talking about what accounts they're in, executing on the screen, you know, profit, loss, wins, losses, run-ups, you know, everything done live. And it's tough to do, right? I do it live all the time. It's certainly not the easiest thing. It's time consuming. You certainly can't be live all day for all of your trading. You can't really live trade swing trading. You know, you kind of have to try to demonstrate scalping to a degree. You know, but, you know, this is the reality of where we're at. It's the day and age of AI. Everything can be faked. Everything can be, you know, altered. And even if it's not altered and it's legit, it's all third party, you still don't know what happened, right? You don't know what the risk was. You don't know what the process looked like. You know, you don't know any of that stuff unless you watch it live consistently over a large period of time. So, you know, again, without going into details and you know, talking names or in too much detail, it's not needed. Look for live trading, guys. I encourage you to look for live trading only. You know, I really don't work with or associate with or pay attention to any traders that do not trade live. It's what I always wanted to see. It's what I knew I needed to see, right? And it's unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to think about it, really the only thing we can, you know, we can view. We don't have to trust if we could just see it ourselves, right? I think most of the world is going to go this way, you know, but certainly in trading. So I want you to grain of salt everything that I share. You know, none of it's worth anything, guys. It really isn't. You know, outside of this, outside of what we're doing right here, right? You know, watching the wins and losses play out in real time, watching why the person does what they do consistently, and then how the hell that plays out. You know, that's where any value is, or any, you know, display of skill set or lack of skill set, right? That's all we can do. So important to note, important to note that. I talked about not being negative. I do not talk about drama. I don't discuss drama. I think it's important to be transparent and also encourage you guys to judge me harshly the way that I would encourage you to judge others harshly. You shouldn't have to ask anybody anything about their trading. I shouldn't have to tell you anything about my trading or results. You should be able to watch it for yourself. You don't have to trust something if you're seeing it yourself, right? That Bitcoin saying, don't trust, verify, right? Watch it play out. Here's the blockchain right here, boys. That's it. So I hope that maybe, kind of helps the way that you guys might be thinking about, who you're watching and seeing and all this great stuff. Getting ready to get scalpy on NQ, guys. We are rolling. We are rolling. Thanks for the Trading View tutorial playlist. Help me get my first payout. Let's go. Love it. Love it, dude. App W's in the chat for that. First payout. Love to hear it, guys. If you have any questions on Trading View or anything, I don't claim to be the expert at everything. I got some tips and tricks. Maybe I know. Maybe you guys tell me. Like somebody let me know something really cool and then I made a video about it, right? I don't claim to know every single thing or I don't claim anything, in fact. But I was trying to figure out, where like a flatten all button would be, right? Where a flatten all cancel all button would be, because I do like that. And I, was working with the order card, all the different nuances on here, right? The settings for dragging out, stop losses and take profits from market orders. But I figured somebody had let me know, I think, on the DOM, there's a flatten all cancel all, which is pretty sweet. Once you're into an order, whether you enter on the DOM or not, you got these hidden buttons over here. We got a DOM, so I made a video about working the depth of market on TradingView. We can play with that today. But before I get too scalpy, I'll be right back, guys. Take a quick break, just about 2 minutes. I'll be right back with you guys. And then maybe we'll take some psychopathic trades playing around with the DOM on, on TradingView. Be right back, guys. All right, guys, let's go. W Energy, W's in the chat, hella W's. Is it Addis platform? No. If you're asking me if this is the Addis platform, it is not. This is TradingView logged in with a Tradeovate. Now, what I just logged into was a Lucid Eval 50K that's halfway to pass through Tradeovate. Over here on the left-hand side, we have Bookmap, which you should be able to see. This is Bookmap. We're gonna pull up the NQ Bookmap. Can you help how to use volume profile? Yeah. What do you want to know about volume profile as we get ready to get scalpy on NQ here? Choppy overall. Looks like we want to pop to the upside here. If I had to take a trade right here, right now, I'd be long. Kind of missing a nice long right here. But let's get aggressive in here, guys. Let's see if we can't get funded here for the 9 zillionth time. Let's see what we got. I don't know what the hell these numbers are. We are here on MNQ, and I'm starting to get a feel. We got an ATR of 31. This would be like stupid tight. I'm just starting to take a look here. Not doing anything just yet. What I like about TradingView is you can be lazy and just, enter in contract sizes and different, tick stop losses and take profits as brackets on a market order. And you can start to get a feel for what that would look like. You could do the same thing just using a position tool, right? I could say, well, what does a 100 tick stop loss and a 100 tick take profit look like, right? And you can kind of drag that around and move it around, but it's just easy to do over here. And you get position size and, stop loss sizing and dollar amounts from it. It's pretty sweet. So pretty similar movement here out of NQ. Sold off, popped to the upside. Let's just see what we did on a little bit of a higher time frame here. Sorry guys, I don't mean to jump back and forth. Yeah, we're still inside. We didn't crack Monday's low or high. So we're putting a little inside bar in here so far. We did trade through all of the overnight price action, the low and the high. And now we're kind of chopping back to VWAP. Do we bounce from here? Do we pick a direction? And we push to the upside? Do we start to sell off really aggressively? Just kind of viewing this from a higher time frame trend, because it ain't too trendy, guys. Like, this is tough. I will note this also. I've seen a lot of traders struggling. I've seen a lot of traders struggling in this, dude. This is a 15-minute chart zoomed out. Sure, there's a lot of opportunity in here, but this is choppy. This is not a really clean, trending market. I mean, this is not the trend trader's dream where we go and break prior day's high or low and we just, drift higher for the rest of the afternoon. We are really back and forth here. Not as much of a difference if you're going to be a super duper scalping in here like we're going to work on. Marking out current value area high, point of control value area low. Taking a look at bookmap over here on NQ. Taking a look at where VWAP is. Taking a look at this volume profile. Looking for these scalpy trades, right? Off of high volume, areas of decent liquidity within price action market structure to get pretty scalpy on NQ. If there's a trend to work with, I will take that into consideration, but we don't have that much trend to work with here, guys. This is kind of dicey. So let me just take a look and see, what I want to do for sizing anyway. Yeah, we could start pretty small. I can start pretty small, look for these little scalpy movements. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. Train with Luan. Hop in the Discord, my brother. Luan says, any more info on the new accounts from Top 1 coming? From Top 1 Futures? Yes. Talked about it a little bit on stream earlier. But if you don't want to go back and watch it, which you certainly don't have to do, there's a little pop to the upside. That would have been a little W there. Hop in Discord. Hop in the 100% free trading Discord. Go to the updates and alerts channel and turn notifications on. If you want the most updated information on the newest stuff before it comes out in the prop firm space, I can guarantee you, I can say with confidence, I don't, bullshit, and this is not like a pat on my back. I would believe I'm one of the few that has access to that info, and I try to convey as much as I possibly can without breaking any rules or without doing something that they tell me not to do. So hop in the 100% free trading Discord if you want the most updated information, the hints on what's coming from Top 1 Futures, potentially early next week. Good morning, Zach. What's up? Good morning. How to enter for the giveaway? Hang out on the stream. Hang out on the stream. We might be running a giveaway in a little bit. For those of you guys that are new, we run instant funded or we have been running instant funded. Maybe we do a little bit of something different next week. I don't know. But we've been running instant funded account giveaways almost every damn day here on stream. 100% free. No, no purchase necessary for entries. But they're random days, random times on stream. You got to be hanging out to catch it. You got to be in the chat. A form will drop. You fill the form out, and then you enter the giveaway. Random days, random times. So you don't have to ask me if you can enter the giveaway. You can definitely enter. But that is how we get people funded on these streams. Yeah, kind of consolidating. We got a little wedgie pattern forming up here. I think we go to VWAP. Yeah, taking a breakdown right here. Not super beautiful. I do think we come to VWAP on this, though. Let's see. Looking at a short right here, back towards VWAP. Just wanted to see if we could kind of pop higher first, kind of like we're doing right now. Maybe like the 85s, last bit of liquidity up there. I'm going to fade that for a quick move back to VWAP. I'm selling into some strength here, but I'm looking for us trading around this high volume area. And I'm going to make this a positive risk to reward. I'm actually going to widen both of these. I'm going to widen this bad boy here. And I'm going to widen this bad boy down here. Widening out a little bit on that. I'm looking for a move back to VWAP. I don't have to run a super positive risk to reward. Happy to see if we can wick down here before we take off. There's definitely a chance that we pop right to the upside, which it looks like we want to do. Beautiful, man. Yeah, I'm gonna know. I'm gonna see, man. I'm gonna see. For the record, here on my live streams with you guys near the open, really not hot on the NQ scalping. Really not hot on the NQ scalping. I'm happy to talk about it and be transparent. I've been getting really smoked on NQ near the open. I'm not done pushing it, right? You know, like I said, we're trading evals here. I'm not copy trading. I'm trading 150k eval. I don't know why I tend to do better on it into the afternoon. I wouldn't expect to have done better on it on that slow, choppy, back and forth New York lunch and, you know, that 1, 2, 3 p.m. time frame. But into the open and around the open, around this 10 a.m. time frame, 10:30 a.m. time frame, maybe just too much movement and not really getting that scalpy style back and forth movement that I'm looking for. But I'm going to trade this one. I'm going to trade this one probably towards a pass or a fail with you guys. I'm pretty aggressive on evals. I'm looking to get through them very quickly. I'm going to trade this one towards a pass or a fail today with you. Pretty damn quick. So it looks like we are going to come back above this high, pushing the upside. Starting out with a stop. Let's see if I can beat my record of 0-3. Let's see if I can beat my record of 0-3 with you guys. But again, pretty aggressive in what I'm doing on these sim accounts, eval-wise. Not for everybody. You know, I will lose plenty on the way to passing them faster. But yeah, I'm gonna say probably I'll give it this whole week. You know, if I can't get some motion rolling on NQ, you know, around the open, and I end up with this just back and forth kind of crappy win rate, I'm gonna back off of it. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll just run it in the afternoon. Maybe I'll run some live streams in the afternoon, you know, when things seem to be working nicely for me. Maybe I'll just trade YM and call NQ a day for the off the open trading. Or around the open, because this is obviously not off of the open. So finding some buyers off of VWAP here. Pushed in the upside. Breaking through some liquidity. Not really what I look for a trade. I'm really trading these grab liquidity above or below and crack the other direction style movements. Kind of like a short right in here. I don't know that I want to fade this again. I've taken the same style of trades a couple times on here, man, and taken some back-to-back losses. But, ooh, we got some liquidity up above. But we're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to take wins and losses with you guys here. Hopefully wins. But so far, losses. 0-1. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Taking a look at what the rest of these are doing. Oh yeah, ES making the case for a push to the upside. Nice positive CBD coming through liquidity. Got a couple up here. Could find a little bit of a bounce up here, but I think we're gonna try to make the case to break out and run today. Let's see. Let's see. Is today the day that we start to break out of this range and we start to run? Let's see. The trade is a fade setup here. I'm gonna try not to hesitate on you know, after taking an L. I'm gonna try not to hesitate after taking an L. It's fading the extreme up here, but this is dicey. Stop loss right above high of day. We're pushing the upside. We've retested VWAP here. You know, we're starting to make a case for a trend here. Starting to make a case for a trend. Sold off aggressively, pushed to the upside, retest VWAP. Seller's not able to take it lower. This is the trade. This is probably where I'm going to hesitate, not take it, and you know, have it be a potential win. But I'm going to try to keep myself away from just fading a runaway market, which we could get right here. Yeah, there we go. Let's get a try for those 965s. Watching closely on Bookmap here. Big stack of orders up there. 10 points above price right now. Right above the highs. Looks like we're going to try for that. I don't really have a trade on this. It's not a break and retest continuation style of trading. There is some momentum opportunity with this, but it's a right back down here. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Right back down here. Quick pull back down to this area of high volume off these highs. I don't love it with that right there. Oh, yeah, there you go. Big break up. Now, do we just run? Do we just run? A little bit more at the 80s. Oh, no, we got a big stack. Yeah, all right, let's just watch this for a minute here, guys. Push to the upside. I'm going to try to keep myself away from fading anything unless we get a nice level like this. But we could pop 50 points higher right now on NQ. I don't think that would be Don't think that would be unreasonable. I do love a retest of this area right here, though. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Or is today going to be the day we start to push? Let us see, chat. Let us see. I'm running this bad boy. I gotta do it. I don't want to. It is aggressive as we are breaking this high, but it's the setup, man. I gotta try it. We got close to this level here multiple times. Could certainly just be the break to the upside, but I gotta stay somewhat consistent in what I'm attempting to do, and I'm looking for a push right back down here to this area of high volume. Even if we're gonna continue the upside for that scalpy style, catch the move on a quick pullback. So I'm gonna run that one. 500 bucks worth of risk. We'll see if I start running myself into some drawdown or if we can't start picking up some trades here, man. Usually we don't move in one direction for forever. Book map, we are eating up levels above. We got through that 25,000 evens right here. I'm looking for a nice rejection, just quick. Not a huge reversal. Not that we sell off on the day. Not that we don't put a huge, bullish day in. But that classic back and forth move that NQ loves to pull. Not getting it so far, so we might just run it. Might just run it to the upside. Oh, we are. We are going to run it to the upside. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Entry at 24,983. Target 24,931 and 3/4. Stop at 25,031. 200 tick. Not a lot of room. We're scalping on the 1 minute here. Really, really aggressive. I'm probably gonna run the same thing as last week. If I go 0-3, I'm gonna take my foot off the gas. Which it looks like I might go 0-2. Just continuing to drive higher, continuing to eat up liquidity above price. I'm caught fading it to the upside. Not getting any rejection. Seller's not even trying it just yet here. Let's see. Last chance is around these 220s. 25,020s, 25,030s. I'm cooked. Let's see, chat. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Let's see what the market's got for me today. Previous day high is 25,040. Nice. 1030 bounce. I think. Yeah. Price shooting up. Yep. Morning. All. Hope you are doing well. Just stopped in to say hello. My reads were good today on NQ. Locked out green. Nice. Nice. So far, my reads are great on YM, trash on NQ. Kind of what I've been working with as of recent. But we're still early. We're still early. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. But happy to show you what real trading looks like for me. And unfortunately, creating a pretty trash track record here, scalping NQ near the open with you guys. Really not getting the motion that I'd like to get here. Like I said, I'm probably gonna push through the remainder of this week. Got some travel coming up next week. Got some really stuff coming up with the top 1 guys. If I can't get a little bit more motion this week and start to get some better results, at least around this time of the day, I'll probably take my foot off the gas and reassess. It's not even worth to continue to run it in evals. But we'll see, man. You got to go for a large sample size, right? If you're going to try to build out something, a couple days worth or even a couple weeks worth is really not enough to work with. But we're going to see. Not the easiest to trade, ES or NQ this year. Yeah, dude. People have been getting cooked, man. People are getting cooked. And I'm going for choppy, scalpy trades. So, you know, this type of stuff shouldn't affect me as much. Really shouldn't affect what I'm trying to do here as much. But, man, this... yeah, here comes the stop. This is choppy, guys. This is really choppy back and forth. Really choppy back and forth, right? On a daily chart down here, like that's tough, right? You know, if you're a range trader, if you're that back and forth trader, I think it could be great. If you are a you know, if you're a trend trader, you're somebody that's trading for breakouts, trading for continuation. This type of stuff is tough, dude. Really tough, right? We come down here, we break the low. I'm sure a ton of people are, you know, starting to fade this, and you know, we pull back in, right? You know, we dip down here, we break lows. What do? We pop back up. Okay, we push to the upside. What do? You know, we would come back down. So yeah, this can definitely be tough to trade. You know, it's not this, right? It's very different conditions than this bad boy right here, right? You know, obviously this is the daily chart, so there's plenty of opportunity on lower time frames in between this, but you know, a lot can be tough in here. A lot can be tough in here. Once we start chopping around like this. Whew. Yeah, here's even the 1 hour over the last couple weeks. Yeah, I'm trying to take some of that into consideration, right? Which is why you see me trading, you know, kind of against the initial movements on the 1 minute. But I'm unfortunately catching when we are starting to break and run in one direction. That's kind of what I've had go on here so far today, right? As we're starting to break to the upside, right? Not catching the move back to VWAP, you know, entering short twice on finally the big run to the upside. So this is not working out too nicely for me. I'm gonna let it go. I'm not a big fan of closing out for a loss, you know, before a stop out. It just doesn't seem to work well for me no matter what I do. Maybe stop loss to break even, you know, if you start to move into profit pretty quickly, can be pretty sweet, but not super tight on you know, closing out trades for loss or when they come back to break even. But again, for those of you that hopped on late, scalping away in an eval here. It's a 50K that was halfway to pass. I said I was going to be aggressive, and I will be. Probably run this one towards a pass or a fail. You know, I'm not copy trading. I'm not using a third-party copier. We're not going through batches of 5 or 10 at a clip. You know, I don't look to spend a lot of time in evals at all. So that's just personal preference, experience, capital allocation, all that fun stuff. Let's see as we come back around entry. I hate to do this, guys, but I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna leave this one running. I'll leave this one running with you guys. Chair, it's on you. It's going to be a take profit or a stop loss. I will be right back, guys. I'll be right back. Let's see what we got, chat. Chair, how'd you do, bro? Nah, this structure now sucks. Survived by the skin of my teeth, but a stop loss right above the high. That's trash. But we'll see. I'd be surprised if we don't catch a stop on this one. But gonna continue on. Yeah, I'm not even gonna set a cap. It's gonna be pass or fail. You know, if I run out of time or energy, right, going back and forth, we'll cap it. But I'm gonna go for the pass or fail. Yes, I think eval should be traded aggressively. Sir Lunchalot, what's up, bro? So here's the thing, right? Let's talk about that. Since we're on it, I'm talking about, you know, sim trading, right? There's different levels to trading, just like there's different levels to everything in life, right? And depending on, you know, depending on a lot of things, but definitely depending on your experience, your risk tolerance, and your capital allocation for trading, you're gonna do things, you know, very differently than me or anybody else, right? So let's talk about trader A, right? Maybe trader A has, you know, should we write it out? Whoa. First off, let's let this thing run. Let's say, like, let's compare Trader 1 and Trader 2, right? Trader 1 is has been trading for, you know, 6 months. 6 months experience, right? And you know, he's comfortable risking $1,000, right? $1,000 trading capital, right? Okay. And then let's talk about Trader 2. Right. Maybe Trader 2 has 8 years experience. And, you know, he's trading with, like, just, let's not even go crazy with it. You know, he's trading with, you know, $100,000 of trading capital, right? You know, he's got, like, $500,000 in, you know, money invested in the markets, and he's got $1,000 for trading, right? How these two traders will approach prop firms will be very, very, very different, okay? Trader number 1, right? And I'm not telling anybody what to do, right? But, you know, trader number 1 might be trading one, you know, 50K eval at a time, or you know, at a time, and you know, is gonna give themselves max, you know, 2 evals per month, right? Because they have $1,000. They don't have a lot to work with. They're very inexperienced. They're probably not gonna, you know, do well getting more aggressive. They shouldn't be in the first place until they have more money. But they're gonna say, I'm gonna spend, you know, what's a good eval with an activation fee? $100 bucks. I'm gonna spend $200 a month max. I'm gonna spend $100, you know, per clip, and that's gonna limit my expenses while I learn to trade. And I'm gonna look to work myself towards a payout, and maybe one payout from one, you know, 50K eval account for $500. Or, you know, or $250 or $1,000 is going to be great, right? That's going to be huge to them relative to their trading capital, right? And maybe at very least right now they have $1,000 of trading capital. That gives them, you know, a handful of months at $200, you know, per month to try to make some progress, right? To learn. Trader number 2, it really doesn't make sense for them to do that, right? Trader number 2 has much more experience. And they have, you know, $100,000 of trading capital, and then maybe, like we talked about, $500,000 or $1 million invested, you know, in the markets, right? They might be risking, you know, they might already be risking, right? I don't know, like 5K per trade, you know, in live accounts. Okay? Does it make sense for this trader to trade on one 50K eval, or excuse me, on, you know, does it make sense for him to trade 2 50K evals per month? I don't think so. Why? they're talking about $200 maybe of spend per month out of their 100,000. And what's their upside there? They're maybe after a month or two going to work towards, one payout or something along those lines. It maybe makes sense for them to allot themselves a lot higher spend, right? This is really simple stuff, guys, and I don't mean to break it down this way, but I think it's really, hard and important to like think about and where you are, right, relative to these two and maybe more. As we watch this trade just not do jack anything. Maybe we're gonna get the wick above and stop me out. We're just dancing around up here. Maybe, maybe this trader is gonna trade. Maybe he's gonna copy trade batches of 5 50Ks. Wow, sorry guys, 50Ks at 5 firms, right? He's probably going to spend a whole lot more per month doing that initially. He's probably going to trade and he's going to trade them much more aggressively. He's going to allow himself, 2 batches of 5 from 5 different firms per month, right? He's going to lose much more than trader number 1, right? He's going to risk much more than trader number 1. And he has upside opportunity that's a lot greater than trader number 1. He has the capital to allow for that. And he has the experience to do that. He's got a reason to believe already that he should be risking more to stand to make more, right? So, this is, I think, what you should take into consideration. A lot of traders just hop on and they say, if you spend more than 1 day in an eval, you're dumb. You're wasting your time. Evals are meant to be traded super aggressively, right? For who? It depends, right? And in general, I will say this as well, as I take this stop out here with you guys. Aggressively trading sim accounts. Wow, in by the skin of my teeth here. Holy hell. Wow. Wow. Imagine that one comes all the way back. Here's the other thought here, guys, right? What are you doing with props? Let's talk about it. There's kind of 2 things that go on. There's 2 things that go on, right? Sorry, I want to make that. I'll make that so I can actually see what's happening down here. There's 2 things with props, right? Benefit 1. Let's just say path 1. Learning. Keeping. Excuse my misspelling of everything. I'm just going to do it quickly while I'm also, watching this stuff. Keeping expenses low. Creating a path to, personal live accounts. Right? That's important, and I think that's where almost everybody should be starting and should maintain, right? And these 2 intersect. You could do both. But, path 2 is the aggressive, like already experienced, right? Aggressive, leveraging, right? Leveraging of props. And, understanding that there is, taking on more, let's say, taking on more risk, more loss in pursuit of high upside opportunity. All of this is spelled wrong. Wow, all of this is spelled wrong. Can I actually, open it up? Nope. All right, we're going to leave it misspelled. Here, we're going to put 2 Y's on that one. There's an intersection here. There's an intersection here, right? But I do think there's a big differentiation between these 2 things and what you watch from people and what they're doing, right? I kind of have a little bit of both going on right now, where I'd say on the Top 1 Futures 15K live account, I've really tried to hold on to that, tried to slow down, tried to focus on creating a sustainable and consistent and repeatable approach in the markets and display that by taking payouts from it, right? Creating a good return on the initial risk capital while holding on to the account, not smashing the reset button, not going into huge drawdown and then YOLOing or doing anything crazy, right? You know, that can be great, but there's limited upside opportunity with prop firms doing that, right? There really is. You're trading with, in a 50K account, for example, $2,000 of risk capital. If you're not going to be drastically over leveraged and risking ruin, you're not going to make it to larger size payouts, more frequent payouts. You're not going to make it to a max payout ever, right? Path 2, you're more experienced, you got more capital, you're going to get much more aggressive with props. You know, you see them as the asymmetric opportunity as they are, and you're going to look to exploit that. You know, maybe not through just full port YOLO gambling, sim farming, you know, insane trading every day, but by being way more aggressive, by saying I am drastically over risked in the accounts that I'm trading, evals and funded accounts. I'm risking ruin and I will not hold on to these for any meaningful amount of time. I'm comfortable with that loss of evals and funded accounts on the way to larger and more consistent payouts, right? Now, I'm not arguing for or against doing that, but I think it's important to recognize the difference there. And do I think that path 2 is taken to an extreme, and then also what they're doing is not discussed and the results are misrepresented? A lot of what we've seen talked about on X over the, you know, in social media over the last couple of weeks. Sure, absolutely, man, absolutely, right? You know, but have at it. Do whatever you want, right? That's what life is. And I've taken harder stances against things and for things in the past. I'm really not. But I do think it's important to understand what the person is doing that you're watching with prop firm accounts and with live accounts, right? And then the path that you want to go. You know, so, you know, create realistic expectations around your trading and around how much money you have to trade and around how much experience you have, right? You're 6 months, 1 year, 2 years in, you're a baby. You just got here. You have no idea what's happening. You haven't made it through anything. I see very, very, very few people that make it to consistent, you know, anything in under 2 to 3 years, right? You combine that with not having a lot of capital, which most beginners don't have. You have no business copy trading or being aggressive or trying to get through evals quickly. Slow down, bro. Learn trading. Put a little bit of risk on the line. You're gonna lose it. You know, try to learn how to actually trade, right? Okay, maybe you come to trading later in life with props. Maybe you're a decade in and you have a ton of experience already, right? Maybe you're somewhat of a beginner, but you're a millionaire, right? Maybe some combination of those, and you go, well, this is not worth my time. The return on investment for my time with props doesn't make sense unless I get much more aggressive. Or I've gotten more consistent, I've slowed down, I've taken the slow path with props, you know, I've gained in my experience, I've proven to myself that I could take payouts without blowing accounts, right? I've proven to myself that I could trade live accounts, right? And hold on to stuff. And now I'm going to get more aggressive, and I'm going to set what that, you know, weekly, monthly, yearly spend is. I'm going to decide what's working, what's not working. And I'm going to get much more aggressive. You know, I'm going to leverage the ability to, you know, to be more aggressive. You know, now, obviously, also downside to that, props don't like that. You know, there's a double-edged sword there. They are cracking down on sim farming. They are cracking down on churning. They are cracking down on people getting way too aggressive and burning through evals and funded accounts. So, you know, you got to watch getting banned trying to play that game for sure, right? And again, I'm not encouraging that. I'm not arguing for it at all. But I think it's important to understand, because when you watch people pulling payouts, huge payouts, let's go to the extreme. When you watch people taking millions of dollars in payouts, there's almost always hundreds of thousands of dollars in prop firm spend behind that. The same way when you watch people making millions of dollars in live accounts, there's millions of dollars of risk behind that, right? That is not what you're going to do for the most part. Maybe somebody that's on here has, you know, got big money and big experience, right? When you see somebody taking even more consistent payouts, like me, right? That I'm doing in the sim environment, larger on some of them, right? That's not going to happen without loss of accounts, right? It just is not think about the math. It's not physically possible. Nobody has that type of edge in the market where they are consistently flipping accounts. You need to make, let's just look at a 50K example, right? For this real quick, just to hammer this home, because I think this is a really important conversation. You're not going to make it to a $5,000 payout. Let's use Top Step, for example. You're not going to make it to a $5,000 max payout on a 50K without drastically over leveraging and over risking and running an insane risk of ruin, or taking a long time to get that done. And I'll preface that you're at least not going to do that consistently, right? Maybe there's an anomaly, maybe silver's on a run and your trading strategy is working great. Why? You might say, okay, well, why, Zach? I've seen other people do that. Why? To pass the account and get to day one of the funded, you need to put up $3,000 on a $2,000 max loss limit. You need to almost double the account. You need to flip the account, right? Oh, excuse me. You need to more than double the account, right? You need to make $3,000 on a $2,000 account, okay? You essentially are turning a $2,000 account into a $5,000 account, okay? Then you need to turn another $2,000 account into a $10,000 account to request 50% and take a $5,000 payout, okay, guys? That's just not done without an enormous amount of risk. Over leveraging, over risking, risking ruin. It's not done quickly. Can you take a long period of time to get that done sustainably and probably repeatedly? Sure, absolutely, right? But it's really important to just think about that. You don't need to tell anybody, somebody to tell you something or be transparent about something, if you could just understand the basics of how much edge is available in the markets, right? That is not done repeatedly and consistently without loss, okay? So, just think about those things. Think about those things. So I hope that helps. Similar at other firms, right? I went for maybe more of an extreme example there, but, similar at other firms. So, I think for most, let me come back to reality here for you guys. I hope this conversation helps, right? I really do. This is not drama. This is not talking about other people. This is talking about my journey and my experience, right? And I'll tell you where I landed on that. I came to props specifically with some experience in live accounts and more money, right? So I definitely was well capitalized, and I had gained some consistency in live Forex trading, right? I definitely gained some nice consistency there. But I hadn't gained consistency in prop firms. I hadn't gained consistency intraday trading in the futures market with new rules and new instruments and new platforms. And what did I do? I was too aggressive. I hammered it. And how did that work out for me? I burned more money than I needed to, way more than I needed to. Then I slowed down as I built more experience, still having a lot of capital. And I said, you know what? It's not really gonna be worth my time investment here. I'm risking 10 times the amount of any one of these funded accounts in one live trade, but I'm just burning capital. I'm going to have to slow down to learn this, right? And kind of, get better at this specific game that we're playing here, right? And that's what I did. Then as I got more consistent, right, I continued to set those more consistent goals. I continued to set those small goals, moving the needle in the right direction for myself. Can I take one payout now before losing a funded account? Can I now get to more consistent small payouts? Can I get max funded and take some payouts? Can I get to a prop firm live account? Can I hold on to that for multiple months? Can I take my first payout? Then can I take multiple payouts from the same live account, right? Then you get into maybe copy trading. Then you get into, getting more aggressive and risking ruin and getting through evals like I do extremely quickly, losing, many and then, passing on, a few, right? Because maybe that makes sense for you and your experience level and your risk tolerance. So, I hope some of that can help, as you guys are watching me, you're watching other traders, try to differentiate and create a path for yourself, and understand what you should and shouldn't be doing. Most traders are hammering it because they see they see the results from other people, and they completely ignore, sometimes the people are being disingenuous, but they completely ignore the experience level and the capital required to get that done. And they say, I can emulate that result. I'm going to aim for that. Let me go ahead and try to do what they're doing. Not a good idea. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. You wouldn't do that in any other profession or any other sport or anywhere else. So don't do it here, right? Tom Hogarth has a great example, and it's based on risk and scaling up. I'll come back to the chat once I finish this. I hope this is a helpful rant. But this one, this one really hit for me. I really did enjoy it. It's the tightrope example. And it's about how scaling up in risk, is difficult, and, it's not the same trading, on demo and then trading on with a little bit of risk on the line and then a lot of risk on the line, right? It changes as you go. But it's also a good example of what you wouldn't do. If you wanted to walk on a tightrope, and this is the story, the person that walked between two buildings, I think it was the middle of New York City or whatever city, or Grand Canyon, whatever the place was. He first put the tightrope on the ground, 1 inch off the ground, where risk is minimal, and walked across it hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times. And then he slowly raised the tightrope up. He didn't put the effing tightrope in between the two buildings with no experience and so much risk on the line and then fall off and die. It doesn't make any sense. But that is consistently what traders do, right? And I think if you were standing on the ground and you watched a guy walk across a tightrope and made money and fame and made out doing that, you probably wouldn't say, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna walk across a tightrope. Having never walked across a tightrope on the ground 1,000 times and fallen off and stubbed your toe and stubbed your knee, and then slowly raised it up over the course of years to get comfortable and acclimated to that risk and actually have confidence in yourself and your abilities to take on that level of risk, right? So, try to think about that stuff, guys. You don't do that with trading. Don't do that with anything else in life. Don't do that with sports, with profession, And again, I will say, I'm not putting the blame on traders. There's a piece where, let me just use the example. Sometimes the guy walking on the tightrope in that example says, if you just watch me walk across the tightrope, don't look at the hidden net that's underneath here and give me $99 and I'll tell you exactly how to walk across the tightrope in 6 months, and then everybody falls off the tightrope and dies. There's a piece of that going on. But, use your effing eyes, guys. Come on. Again, I'm not blaming anybody here, not putting the blame on the trader, but, it's important to differentiate this stuff and think about it in realistic terms. Can you make an infinite amount of money trading, on your own time and be able to scale? And of course, right? That's why we're all here. We know about that. Is it easy? No. Why would it be easy? Is it reasonable to achieve what others are achieving after, a long period of time, in years and years, and are also well capitalized, who have, a significant amount of, no. So, you're setting yourself up for a painful and not a good path to go down, if you stay on that. So try not to do that. Try not to do that if you can. I hope that helps, guys. I'm watching this trade just not do jack anything. I think we either come back. I'm going to leave it for now. I think we either pull this. I don't know that we get it. This wasn't violent enough. I'd love to come back to this high volume area. This is probably, this is value area high now. I'd love to come back in here. So it's not a terrible structure. Stop right above the high is ridiculous. I survived by the skin of my teeth on this one. For those of you guys that hopped on late, I've been in the trade this whole time. That's my original stop loss. It's back to break even. I'm going to diamond hands it. I would have liked to take in more wins than losses already with you guys, but here we are sitting in a stupid trade, not really doing anything. I think we got opportunity to come back down towards this high volume node, right? Even if we're going to continue higher, this was the thesis here, that we pull this, right? I think we got an opportunity to do that up here, so I'm going to leave this on. This is too wide, I will also say. This was too much width. I should have been stopped or take profit already. But, I'm going to adjust the volatility. That's dropping off really considerably, right? We cut volatility in half since I've entered. This was like 30 over here. Cut the ATR in half, I should say. Anyway, that's some thoughts for today, but I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Yes, if you never passed one, you should try to pass with time, sure. But an eval that took me 4 months cost me more than 4 evals aggressively just because I missed so many payouts, right? Well, that depends, Sir Lunchalot. Do you have the experience to get those payouts? Do you have the capital allocation to lose the funded accounts, the evals, on the way to that payout, right? It depends. There's no clean answer there. I got no trade opportunity today. Done for the day. ADL King, nice. This is shaping up to be a trash session here. Wrap it up. Great points there, for sure. True, it took me 4.5 years to get actually profitable. Yeah. Okay, let me show you guys something else. Let me be really discouraging as we take an L here. Hang on one second. Let me try to find this. Let's see. Okay. What I wanted to pull up was, I'm sorry, I got quiet here. Yeah, there we go. All the way back up. Back to entry and then back to the stop. Yeah, just continuing higher. I'm short this for a pullback in here. This is all we wanted to do. Come to the low end of this, you know, high volume node and then back up. I'm still surprised that I'm even in this, but yeah, it looks like the stop out's coming. What I wanted to find for you guys, right? Somebody commented, it took me 4.5 years to get profitable, right? You know, I don't see profitability as a clean, you know, slate. I struggle myself because I try to be honest about when you get profitable, because you don't like flip a page one day and all of a sudden you're just making money hand over fist, right? Yeah, here comes the stop on this one. Beautiful. You start to kind of think you're profitable because you start to break even and then you start to make some money. You start to make a little bit more money than you're losing. But then inevitably what happens? You take some losses, you blow, you know, you don't do well, you have a drawdown, you go on tilt, and you go, well, I was probably never profitable in the first place. And then you start to make a little bit more money, and you go, oh, I got it figured out this time. And then, you know, you're really turning things, you know, green and looking good. And then, of course, you know, another drawdown happens. And that tends to happen. You kind of go from consistently bleeding to breaking even to making money. But it's not this, like, all of a sudden, oh, we're losing money, and then, oh, we're profitable, right? So, I would even grain of salt years and numbers that people give you, right? But here's a really good one. First off, go read the book, Market Wizards. There's a bunch of them. New Market Wizards. There's a million different stuff. But the OG Market Wizards is great. It's arguably the best traders, or at least it was at the time. And it's just interviews with them. It's somebody that traveled around and interviewed them, right? And here's something that's astonishing to hear from these guys. These are the best traders, right? Real traders. These are the amount of years that it took them to get profitable. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm not even going to list them. Do your own research on this, guys. Go to Google, right? And type in, give me the names of the market wizards and how many years they listed to get profitable. Go and do that. Beautiful stop out here. Nice. Go and take a look at how many years all of the best traders, or what were the best traders, but really like renowned names that have all been in all the books, look at how long it took them to stop losing money trading. I think you'll be a little bit surprised. I think it'll be a little bit of a contrast for what you see portrayed on social media for traders that have just been trading for, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 years and the results that they're able to generate. I'd encourage you to go and do that research. I'm not even going to give it to you. I'm going to give you guys the homework to do. Take a look at it. This stuff is gold. That's why I keep coming back. Yeah. Do you think Chop On Futures will collaborate with Trade C platform? It seems like you guys are interested in Trade C. Who's interested in Trade C? Are you guys using it? Let me know in the chat. Trade C it's not a thing that you have to collaborate with as far as I'm aware. I think it's like TradingView. As long as you have a Rhythmic connection, you could log into it and trade from it for free. But let me know. Let me know who's interested, just so I can convey that information to them. Good morning, y'all. Today's PA was pretty good, right? YM had a decent setup that got close, but just no cigar, and then ran to the upside. Caught on the run on NQ again today. 2L scalping. So I don't know that I'm gonna press it. I don't know that I really want to really try to get more aggressive. I said I was gonna go for pass or fail. I'm gonna go for pass or fail towards the end of the day, but this near the open, near initial balance setting has just not been working well for me on NQ. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I want to press this. Don't know that I want to press it. And I don't have a setup right here, guys. I'm just taking a look at volatility, what I was doing. Yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna mess with this too much more. I want to watch up near this highs for a bit. Hang on 1 second, guys. Because... what in the world? Let's go back to some dubstep. Oh, we're into 2 hours here, guys. Nice. All right, let me get something ready for you guys. You probably know what's coming. But let me go ahead and get something loaded up here, guys. I appreciate you hopping on. Thank you for being here. While I get this rolling, I'm not done yet. We ain't going anywhere. We got something coming. We'll let everybody dip out first. If you want to check out Top 1 Futures, I'm partnered and affiliated with them. I stand to make money. I can't be unbiased, which I love to be transparent about. I think they might be a great opportunity. You might say, nah, Zach, they're a bad opportunity. And that's where doing your own research and making your own decisions makes sense. If you want to check it out, code RDF, still getting you 60% off. Now, I always like to tell you guys when something big is coming, because I don't like anybody to be doing something before something big is coming. Nothing changed on the instant account side, right? 60%, that deal's going to go away pretty soon. So if you want to capitalize on that, go for it. Send it. But we got something big coming from Top 1. We talked about it earlier. I'm not going to repeat myself. Hop in Discord if you want the details on that, man. We got something hella big coming from Top 1 Futures. I'm super excited about it. But in the meantime, Chatty McChat, we're going to do a giveaway. Surprise, right? Big surprise. Big surprise. Giveaway is linked in the chat. The form is linked in the chat. I missed some comments on Kick. I'll come back to Kick, guys. I'll come back to you guys on Kick. The form is linked in the chat. Go ahead and get this one filled out, guys. You do have to be following me on IG, I think, on this one. If you want, you don't have to do anything. Remember, my stuff is free 99, guys. Whatever you want to do. Hit like, hit subscribe. Don't sign up for a giveaway. Don't hang out and trade live with me and check some stuff out. Or don't. I'll still be here. But yeah, let's go back to the chat. You guys had some good comments. Big surprise. Yeah, we got big surprise. Yeah, not big surprise because we do the damn giveaway every day. How to copy trade on Trade few futures accounts via TradingView. You would use TradeSyncer. Which is a cloud-based copy trading platform that allows you to copy trade not only across multiple prop firm accounts on TradingView, but multiple prop firms themselves. I really haven't yapped much about TradeSyncer at all because I really haven't been using it. I've just been trading individually or trading in batches, right? That type of deal. But if you want to check it out, I am partnered and affiliated with TradeSyncer. You can get the best code available with code RDF. There is the link in the chat. But that's how you get it done. Proud of you, Zach. Oh, thanks, bro. I'm proud of you, TAA Fatal. Yeah. And before I move on from that, just real quick, if you have questions, feel free to ask about TradeSyncer and copiers. With copy trading comes additional risk. With third-party trade copiers comes even more inherent risk, right? If I have to explain why that is, let me know. But use trade copiers and copy trade with extreme caution, right? Even the good stuff out there, like Trade Syncer, right? You should understand why that is. If you need me to elaborate, let me know. Let's see. Also, like that Lucid pays via Plaid. Haven't made it to a payout yet, but I don't love giving 2% to payment processors. Yeah, DG Finance. I took a payout from Lucid yesterday. It was my first payout from Lucid. Just so you guys know, I'm not currently partnered or affiliated with Lucid. It's one of the aggressive, accounts that I'm working on the side. They were hella fast. It was one of the fastest payouts that I've ever gotten in my life. I set everything up through Plaid, set the bank account, requested. It was immediately approved, like 60 seconds, and then like immediately hit the bank right away. They're on the fast end. And they also don't charge for, I think they're a 90-10 profit split, and they are no charge for payment processors. The only firm that I'm noticing that I'm getting hit with something was TopStep, because I also requested a TopStep payout yesterday. And there's a $30 wire transfer fee to not go through Wise, I think it is, on them. So that kind of stinks. Top One Futures, I requested a payout from them as well yesterday. I requested 3 yesterday. Was Rise, R-I-S-E, and there's no fees on that as far as I'm aware. And what was Take Profit Trader that I did a week ago? Take Profit Trader goes... Oh, they have a wallet system. Take Profit Trader goes right to a wallet, and then you have to transfer out of the wallet, which is actually kind of cool, because you can, like, use your money from the wallet if you want to buy more accounts. I think they do that for a reason, because it's convenient to do. But yeah, they're all different. Everything's always different. I don't care so much, honestly. As long as like I get paid, I don't need it to be 60 seconds. Like a day or two is okay by me, as long as it's not like you're waiting for a really long period of time or something. But yeah, no real problem. I usually don't have any issues with payouts. A lot of people have issues with payouts across different firms, taking a long time or whatever it is. I'm US based. I'm able to verify across everything, so that is usually not a problem. But yeah, you have account on Lucid on Project X? No, Tradeovate. Congrats on the first payout from Lucid. Yeah. Started trading with them this month, I think, or end of January, beginning of February. That's the first. That was the first funded account that I passed with them that I took the payout on. The 50K Lucid Black accounts, what I started trading. They're pretty cool. Not bad. There is a 40% consistency in the funded after getting through an eval with the consistency rule, so that's a little bit tough. But I think there's always a give and take, right? There's different stuff. So big surprise. Yeah, so guys, go ahead, get the form filled out. We're talking prop firm accounts. We're talking different stuff. Get the form filled out. I'm going to give you guys another, 60 seconds before I clip it. Remember, don't fill it out more than one time. If you fill it out more than one time, you're going to get banned from everything. Don't do that. Account will come straight from Top One Futures. You have to be on the live stream to win. You have to say what's up in the chat if you win. So just get all that out, which is on the screen. Let's see what we had. How do you copy trade? We talked about that. Anyone know anything about wealth markets? No, I've never used wealth charts. I think it is, Dwayne. Tracy looks promising, but still early days for it. We'd like to see it working as a stable platform before putting my money into it. Yep. Oh, and you can copy trade between accounts with Tracy. Cool. Quite interested, but only if Top One Futures allow a free. Yeah. So guys, so just so we know, just so we're on the same page. I might have this wrong, so don't quote me. But I think that TradeC, which seems to be like a cloud-based, web-based trading platform, is not a brokerage, right? And that you connect a brokerage data feed with a prop firm to TradeC to trade. That's like connecting what we're doing right here, Tradeovate, to TradingView, right? So if that's the case, as long as the prop firm offers one of the data feeds, then anybody can use it with any prop firm. Maybe I have that wrong. I don't know. Maybe they limit it. I'm not sure. Again, I have not used it. I don't think I've been on the site, but I really haven't done much research on it. I just saw that it looks like Project X. It's an integrated trading view chart, and you can drag around stop loss and take profits, which everybody loves, right? So that's what I saw so far. But yeah, I think if that's the case, and it seems like Rhythmic is the connection, then it should be something that's going to come to most prop firms very quickly that have Rhythmic. Pretty interested. They have journaling, instant trading view data, news. Cool. Same like Project X. What do I think about? Yeah, again, I talked a lot about that. That was a lot of my conversation, Mr. Dorsick. I don't care to talk about anybody else specifically. I talked a lot about, not being the drama person. I think, people's entire social media presence is trying to, call out people that are maybe being disingenuous or frauds or all that type of stuff. I think there's plenty of that. I talked a lot this stream about taking into consideration what you're watching from other people, about me, about other traders. So I think go back towards the beginning of the stream if you want to hear a ton of comments on why I think live trading, what we're doing here today, which was unfortunately taking 2 losses on NQ, is how you have to judge me today, right? Consistently over a long period of time. Without repeating the whole thing, the day and age of AI, not having to trust anybody if you can watch it for yourself and decide for yourself, all of that fun stuff. But yeah, without yapping about anybody else. Yeah, it's most of the trading space and the online space, right? Most people are not are not, being truthful with you. I've been trading for 5+ years, just not finding some profitability. My current goal is to make it to 1 payout. Beautiful, Juan. Yeah, like we talked about, go Google Market Wizards and look at how long it took for the Market Wizards to get profitable. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Rhombus, where you been? We're down at the bottom again. Profit. What's up, bro? I'm here. I don't know why your stream was cut. Oh, I don't know. Don't know why. All right, guys, let's run the giveaway. Giveaway is closing out right now. We are done. No more responses. We're going to run the duck race. For those of you that are new, the duck race is just a random number picker. Hang on. We're getting the ducks loaded up. Responses are closed on the form. Let's go ahead and get the ducks in a row. We got a bunch of people that hopped on. Yeah, everybody loves the giveaways. We know. I love the giveaways too, guys. I love them as well. Awesome. Let's go ahead and run it. Sorry, guys. Just kind of filtering through because we got a couple people that didn't follow directions. That's okay. That's okay. We'll just take a second here. All right. We have a 50K Ignite instant funded account up for grabs from Top 1 Futures. What the hell? Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to make sure I get everybody in here. Hang on. Come on, Google. What are you doing to me, bro? Come on. The people want the ducks. Don't make them wait. There we go. Now we can get everybody in here. Because we got a few people today. Let's get this rolling. Let's get this rolling. Let's get it rolling, man. Yeah, not a beautiful one, man. NQ has just not been paying me nicely on these morning lives. Just has really not been paying me. Let's run it, guys. Good luck. 3 minutes on the clock. This is for a Top 1 Futures 50K Ignite Instant Funded Live account. Remember, you have to be following on IG. You have to follow whatever the directions were on the forum without me just repeating them. And you have to be in the chat. You have to be here. If the person's not here, they can't say what's up, we got a problem. We're going to rerun it. We're going to rerun it. Be right back, guys, while the Ducks are running. Back in action, guys. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go. Minus 6K first year trading, plus 15K year 2. 3 is about break even. Did some dumb overconfident trading. My duck is lost. Let's see. Let's go Neo Duck. W. Hello, hope it works out for you. Sorry, it's way back. Gotcha. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Rhombus, I hear you, brother. $30 seconds to go. Let's see who's taking the W on this one. We got a bunch of people on stream. What's up, everybody? Appreciate you being here. We're live almost every day, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. We run giveaways on almost every damn stream. If you want a chance to hop on and you missed today's, here is the 100% free trading Discord where you can keep up with when the giveaways are, what we're doing, a chance to win even more because I don't just run them here. There it is, guys. Discord's wide open right now. D-Pack out front. ADO King, Kobe Clark. Oh, man, we got the OGs trying for it. Who is this out of nowhere? Mars, however you say this name. This is Discord OG, man. What's up? What's up? Now, question. Is he or she on the chat? In the chat. Nobody go anywhere. Yes, we got a winner, but they have not claimed it just yet. Nobody freak out. Nobody freak out yet. Let me see who this is. Let's see. Let's see. They're watching on YouTube, or so they put on the form. Everybody chill out. We're going to have to wait and see. W's in the chat. I will give 3 minutes. 3-minute countdown to claim the account. It is 11:26 and 20 seconds. We're going to give them till 11. Let's make it an even 11:30. Make it an even 11:30. Oh, man. Chopping. Chopping towards the upside. Choppy. Let's see. They're here. Marcy. In the chat. W's in the chat. We do have the winner here, claiming it. Yeah, I know who this person is. Adam, I appreciate you always being defensive on it, man. Yeah, we know. Remember, guys, these accounts come straight from Top 1 Futures to the email that you provided. You can't have multiple accounts with Top 1, you know, so you can't really run the game. You're only allowed to be registered once. You also have to match on the email and the full name and the Instagram that I'm asking for on this one. W's in the chat. Appreciate you guys hopping on. We are through on that one. I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up, man. Not a beautiful session for me. Let's look at YM. Not a beautiful session for me. Nothing in the Top 1 live account. Close. Really close to a beautiful long. Really close to a beautiful long. Got a little... Oh, sorry. Sorry. I zoomed out to the 15-minute. Structure is almost the same, so... But I was like, where's the markup? Really close to a beautiful long here, man. Really close to sweeping prior day's low. Hitting this 48 750s. No trade in the Top 1 live for me today. On MNQ, 2 L's. 2 L's scalping in a 50K eval. Trash. Pop to the upside. I'm shorting for this consolidation to continue. I'm shorting for a pullback down to this high volume node. We didn't get that. Maybe we dance around up here and pull back down. Maybe we continue. This is a little bit rough, man. Not bad, PA, right? If you were on the right side of this, like, not bad off of VWAP. I think some traders probably caught that to the upside. You know, selling off of the open, push up, you know, break overnight Asia London highs, pull back down to VWAP, starting to bounce. That's pretty clean. So maybe some traders got in on that leg while I was getting short right here. Nice. Really nice if you caught that. But yeah, that's going to be the session for me, man. Just not really what I want out of NQ for these morning sessions, but we ain't done yet. Keep you guys updated. I'll let you know how the afternoon goes on IG and in Discord. I'll be scalping away a little bit. Not too much crazy trading because I got some stuff cooking that I'm excited about. Stay tuned for next week for sure, guys. Stay tuned for next week for sure. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you for being here. Remember, if you want to check out Top 1 Futures, code RDF gets you 60% off. It's always going to get you the best deal. We got something big coming from Top 1. We talked a little bit about it. Go to my Discord if you want to hear a little bit more about it. Just the early hints at what we might have coming, may or may not have coming. Keep your eyes peeled, man. This one's going to be big. I'm super excited about this. Outside of that, guys, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. And the partnership and affiliate disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, Edgeful, and others. Can't be unbiased if I stand to make money. I do. Important for me to be transparent about that, to make you aware, for you to do your own research, make your own decisions. Always find what the best opportunity is for you guys. Chris, Rhombus, Eli, Hansel, Pam, Dwayne, Meatball Subs. W's in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Y'all are awesome. Catch you tomorrow. Have an awesome afternoon. Awesome. Good to see you, Rhombus. Great to see everybody else here. I will see you guys tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. See you live in Discord. Talk to you guys soon.